Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 1 of the second season of the Postseason podcast. We are so excited to bring you the thoughts of our student athletes after their seasons have ended. I'm your host, Carissa Madison, and we are here with senior middle blocker opposite hitter Isabella Moore and senior opposite hitter Emma O'Hare to reflect on their seasons with Stonebridge Volleyball. Stay tuned and we'll keep you posted. First of all, why don't you guys introduce yourself to the audience and talk a little bit about your role on the team?
Okay, well, I'm Emma, and I've been playing volleyball for 6 years, and I was a captain of the Stonebridge varsity volleyball team, and I was a pin hitter, or specifically right side.
I'm Isabella. I've been playing volleyball for 9 years. I was a middle and a pin hitter on Stonebridge varsity team, and I was on varsity for 3 years.
How many of those years were you guys playing club?
I was playing club for all 4 of them. I think it's just a way to keep improving your skill set, to make sure that you are growing outside of the school season so that when you get into the school season, you're able to just perform at your best. Because the high school season is so short, it's really important that everyone is coming in with a base standard that is good so that you don't have to work as hard on the fundamentals and you're just able to get into the more complex things that'll help your team win.
I've been playing club ever since I think 6th grade was my first season. And I'm a senior now, so what's that, 7 years? So. And club is just honestly my favorite. It's just amazing. First of all, you get to travel, which is one of my favorite things to do. I love seeing new places and just the friendships that you make with your teammates, your coaches, other people. I have friends that I played with when I was 13 and I haven't been on the team with them since then. And it's just great to see I've made lifelong friendships and lifelong connections through club, and I think in my opinion that's one of the best things about it.
Yeah, you get to meet so many people that you wouldn't normally get to be friends with, a lot of people from different schools. And while a lot of people play volleyball, because of club you start to recognize people, and so you may not be close friends, but everyone knows each other. Yeah. There's a camaraderie of we all play this sport.
Yeah, I saw a girl who also plays club. I was never on a team with her, but we were talking about that. There are so many people that I've maybe had one conversation with or no conversations with, but we just know each other and we recognize each other.
Yeah, and I can imagine playing all of these girls, either someone who's on your club team or someone who you've played in your club team, playing them in high school. It's a completely different environment, but it's just oh, I'm comfortable because I know this person.
Yeah.
It makes winning more fun and losing harder because you're winning against someone that you've played against, so it's very fun. But when you lose, it's oh, well, we lost to someone that I'm friends with.
Yeah.
It gives it more of a relaxed feel.
Yeah, it makes it more fun. I feel more comfortable.
Yeah, and then throughout your season, our sophomore year, and then now, we haven't really had that many younger players, freshmen on our team. So how did you guys adjust to that leadership role?
I think that even though there weren't many younger players previously, I still think that there was some sort of leadership aspect that some of us took on. It wasn't necessarily team captain or leader of the whole team, but maybe it was if you saw something that maybe someone else didn't, being hey, we need to talk about this, or we need to make sure that we're doing XYZ for this next play to make sure that we don't lose the point again. And because of that, I think it went pretty smoothly. I also think that it helped that all the freshmen were really easy to get along with, and
for sure.
They all were really they wanted to grow and they wanted to get better, and they understood that we had been playing for longer than them and we had a little bit more experience.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I also think that with this season being our first season that there had ever been freshmen on the team, I feel like it was really fun for us to be the seniors, and we were kind of able to take on that role model role. It's not more of like leaders. Like, I feel like, I mean, obviously leadership is good, but it's not like we're leading them. They just look up to us. And I feel like I agree with what you were saying. Like, they were really eager to work hard and play for the rest of the team. And I feel like that was really good because, like, I know for me, like, I became very close with some of the freshmen on the team, and I could just tell that they were looking up to me. And it just was a good feeling because I want to be there for them as a teammate, a friend, and just to help them along, like introducing them to the different like traditions I guess we have on varsity and like the different expectations that we might have. And I guess just being there for them was like a good feeling to like help them.
Yeah, going off of, Izzy, what you were saying about being a role model, watching them look up to me really put in perspective that I needed to be the best player and the best like senior I could be, because they did look up to me and they did take in what I was doing and put out the same effort I was giving in, or the same like attitude that I was putting out. Like if I had a positive attitude throughout the whole game, then it was more likely that they would reflect that and start taking on these good habits that will help them succeed in the future.
So next question, individually, how do you guys think you played this season, and were there any specific obstacles that you had to overcome?
I judge games not on win or lose, but based on performance. As you can play a very good game, you had great blocks, you had great passes, you had great serves, whatever, but you still lost. Right. But you played really well, so I think that really shapes how I view my playing over the season, where we didn't necessarily win a lot of games, but I think that my performance over those games was pretty good. And what made it challenging, what makes high school challenging always, is adjusting to new setters, especially if you're playing a position like middle, or maybe it's not an easier set like the right. It becomes challenging to adjust to the setters, and it's really important to make sure that you have that communication between them and saying, hey, this is what I need to be able to be successful when hitting a ball. Mm-hmm. And especially with younger players, it was a little bit of a challenge to start off with, but I think that because they were so open and that everyone was so like good-natured about it, they weren't yelling at them, they weren't making disappointed faces when they didn't get the set they want. They were just like, okay, this is what I need, we got the next one.
Right. Yeah. And you also got second team all district, so do you want to talk about that at all?
I was surprised, because with our losing record, I was like, ain't no way. But yeah, I was very happy with that, and
yeah, congratulations. You earned that.
Thank you.
Yes.
And yeah.
Awesome. And then Izzy, did you want me to repeat the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. Individually, how do you think you played this season, and were there any specific obstacles you had to overcome?
I think personally, I played pretty well, I'd say. I agree with Emma. I don't judge like games or how I played based on wins and losses. I judge it on how much effort I put in, my stats that game, how good I did that game. If we won a game but I played badly, obviously I would be very happy that we won, but there's a part of me that's like, I know I can do better. So it gives me that motivation to work harder. But I think the main obstacle for me was the fact that I played middle for most of the season, when all of club season I was playing right side. And I've I started playing middle when I was 13. So I do have that background of being a middle, but it was really hard for me, especially at the beginning of the season with new setters and me trying to get back into the groove of playing this position. I hadn't played in over a year. So that was definitely challenging at first, but once we kind of got over that, like got out of that like funk and we like figured out what the timing is and the set that I need, I feel like it was pretty good. And it definitely made the games more fun because the games at the beginning of the season were more challenging for me because I wasn't used to playing that position yet. But it definitely got better as the season went along on my end and on the setter's end.
Yeah, and then also, like, you played different positions. Like, you played right side and then you also played middle. So I think that also shows, like, how good you did this season, how you were able to adjust to the setters, the new setters. Yeah, that just shows, like, how you are as a player and how, like, you're willing to adjust for the likeness of the team. Are there any specific factors that you think played a role in that losing record?
I think when playing sports, it's hard to make sure that you are keeping a, like, pumped up mentality, like you have that energy, but keeping it at a level that doesn't go into, like, frantic play, or you're not focused on the game anymore. And I think that our team struggled with that a lot. We had very high highs where we had a lot of energy and we were playing really good, but we also had times where we had a lot of energy and we weren't focused, or we had a lot of energy and it translated into frantic playing, which is never good. And then we would have really low lows where there was very little energy. It seemed like we didn't care, and so we needed to find that middle ground and we needed to find that consistency of energy. And I think that was a big factor. And I think that trusting ourselves and taking risks was also a factor, where you can win a volleyball game by doing easy stuff or waiting for the other team to make mistakes, but it's a lot riskier than you hitting the ball or making smart plays, because you're now totally reliant on what the other team is going to do to mess up rather than trusting in your skill.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think energy and mindset is one of the most important things in volleyball specifically, because volleyball is very much a team sport. You're very dependent on the rest of your teammates. You can't do your skill without your teammates doing their skill. And I feel like that's one of the things I like about volleyball so much. It just gives, like, you need that trust with your teammates, and that's what helps you build great connections and relationships with your teammates, is you need to be able to trust each other. And I think that we did trust each other in moments, but then other times, like you were saying, we had very high highs and very low lows, and that energy is very important, and that mindset is really important. If one of your teammates is having a bad mindset or they're in a moment where they don't have a lot of energy, it affects your other teammates, and then it just brings your whole team down. And I think that that's one of the main things we struggled with, and that's one of the main factors of our record. But then I also think we had moments where it was really good and everyone was, like, reliant on each other, trusting each other, had high energy, had a good mindset, and that was the times where we really succeeded. Those were the sets that we won. Those were the sets that were really close. Those were the games that went to 5 sets. Those are the games that we won. So I think that is the main factor in our record.
Mm-hmm. You guys have both been a part of the Stonebridge program since your freshman year.
We've been together all 4 years.
Yes. What is your best memory, favorite memory, funniest memory from being a part of Stonebridge volleyball?
There's so many.
There are so many. It's just all the people that we've been on the teams with. Yeah. They've just all been amazing. They've been great.
What makes high school so fun is you're just with your friends, right? Yeah. You see them all the time.
You see them every single day.
You're with people of different grades. So, like, as we said earlier about, people from club, you tend to only know people in your age group because that's who you see when you're in, like, the wave. And so this just gives you an opportunity to play with new people and play those who are younger than you. And when we were sophomores or juniors, you get to play with people who are better and who are older with you, and you don't necessarily get that opportunity when you do club.
Trying to think.
My favorite memory, this is probably everyone's favorite memories, when
I think I know.
Kaylee Carroll was going
Shout
to
out
hit
Kaylee.
the ball. And
it was an overpass.
It was an overpass. She was looking around. She goes, slam it.
She was telling Kelly to hit it.
She jumps up and she absolutely whiffs the ball and barely hits it. And it was the funniest thing.
It was so funny. I remember that happening, and practice stopping for like a good 2 minutes, and just everybody was dying laughing. I remember being on the floor laughing. Like, it was so funny. I also have another memory when we were on JV together, and our JV coach, Coach Laird, got a little angry, and he threw a shoe. He threw a shoe at the top of the bleachers, and then he had to climb up and get it. And I just remember that being really funny because it just backfired on him. But yeah, there's so many memories. Like, some of my favorite memories of my entirety of being in high school are from volleyball season, and I think that's really special because these are memories I'm gonna have for the rest of my life. And looking back on high school, it may have been tough at the time, like during high school season I might have had some tough spots, but looking back, I'm just very fond of it.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? There was something else that was funny. Oh yeah, when Lila was serving and I wasn't paying attention, and then she served the ball in my face.
Oh,
I don't remember this.
And this serve is
Lila's serve is crazy.
Yeah, and I was, as a sophomore.
Aw, we were so baby. I don't even remember this.
I don't remember. Either,
Emma, you're gonna hate me for this. Remember in Trey P when you fell in front of everybody on the ladders?
yes. No one.
So
I remember.
Funny.
But
oh my gosh, that was hilarious.
But it was in JV too, so I was like a freshman.
We were freshmen.
We
in front of all of varsity,
and my foot slipped, and I
just ate and hit the floor.
And I was like, oh my god,
my goodness.
Oh my gosh, that was so funny. I remember that day very fondly.
Very fondly.
I'm kidding.
Are there any other thoughts you would like to share with your coaches, teammates, or fans to wrap up this season?
This is my go-to advice for high school. Like, try your best, but in the end, it's not that serious. Like, you need to understand that you're not going to get recruited out of high school.
Exactly.
Just out of high school.
Yeah, volleyball is one of those sports you're not getting recruited from high school. Yeah, you might send high school film to coaches, but most college coaches aren't coming to your high school games to watch you play. They're coming to clubs. So even though high school season is serious, it's really just in my opinion, it's just a preparation for clubs so that if your goal is to play in college, you can get better in high school season and then show that off in club, and that's how you're going to get recruited. So I agree.
It's about growth.
I agree.
And I think that we grew this season. I think that is what is the most important thing about our season and how we played. And I think that future teammates or teammates that we've already played with, they need to keep that in mind. They need to make sure that they're not taking it so seriously, that they're having fun with it, because it's a time to play with your friends and it's time to play against your friends. It's a time to grow.
Also, it's happening during the first quarter of school, and first quarter is usually pretty stressful for all grades. So not putting too much stress on yourself, because that's going to translate to your grades. It's going to translate to how you're playing, your energy, how much sleep you're getting, how much food you're eating, like all that stress, that's going to weigh down on other parts. So you want to make sure you're taking it seriously, but at the same time, don't put too much pressure on yourself.
I would also say for players to be the person that when you come on the court, you make everybody else smile.
Yeah.
That is
Ava.
Yes.
Aw, Ava.
That is so important to making sure that everyone feels good, is ready for the next ball. If everyone is trying their best to be that person, then the attitude on the team is going to be so good and you won't have to work at it at all.
Yeah, right.
Another piece of advice I have is for seniors specifically. If you are trying to play volleyball in college, high school season is especially a good time for for growing and honing in on the skills that you want to improve before playing at the next level, because when you're playing in college, it is somewhat similar to high school. You're playing with people of all different ages, but it's different because everyone on the team is somewhat the same level. It's different in high school because, yes, everyone is on a varsity level, but there are freshmen and there are seniors. That's being 14 or 15 to being 17 or 18. So that's a really big difference, a really big jump. So, but when you're in college, you're 19, you're 22, whatever the ages are. And at that point, it's all pretty similar. So making sure that you're honing in on those skills that you want to improve and continuing to do that in high school and in clubs so that you are prepared for college.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Emma and Izzy. And thank you, viewers, for tuning in. We hope you guys enjoyed watching the Fighting Bulldogs this volleyball season. Tune in next time when we check in with our winter sport athletes as their season comes to a close. Thank you.
Yay! Thank you.